Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see, today's video is about doing your own injections and all the anxiety that comes with that. When I started doing biologic injections, I had so much anxiety that I always went to a doctor's office to have nurses do it for me. I was too terrified to inflict pain on myself. I also really didn't want my parents to do it. I really hated that. I don't know why. It isn't that I didn't trust them. I just refused to have them do it. I'm not really sure why I was so anxious, because now I can do it with complete ease, and this video is to help you transition from being extremely anxious and having someone else do your injections to having better coping mechanisms and doing the injections by yourself. I started taking Humira back in 2013 when I was first diagnosed with Crohn's, and that was what originally ignited my anxiety, that even when I changed over to a different medication, I still had that fear that Humira gave me. Humira kind of looks like an EpiPen, and it has a spring injector. So you click down on the button on the top and the needle shoots out of the pen. It releases into your body for about 10 seconds, and then you'll hear like a clicking sound, and then you know you're done. And it's pretty straightforward and easy. However, I was not doing it the right way, and the sounds that it made just terrified me. So I know that Humira has changed their formula a lot to where it's a lot more user-friendly, and I'm not dissing that medication at all. I do plan on going through a whole video of all of the biologics I have been on, because I've been on 3. The main things that scared me was the fact that it had a spring, so I could not control the needle, and the fact that it made weird sounds. And I know it's, if you have done an injection to yourself and you pay attention, you can hear the squeak sound going into your body, and that sound for some reason terrified me. I was on Humira for about 10 months, and then I had surgery. I tried Remicade and immediately had an allergic reaction to it, and then I tried Cimzia, and I've been on Cimzia for a few years now. I think I started middle of 2015, and it's 2019 right now, so I've been on it for quite some time. And I actually just started doing my own injections at the end of 2017, so that just shows you how much anxiety I had and how crippling it was, where I just did not want to do it. At my university, I would go to the health and counseling center, and I had an amazing nurse that would always do my injections for me. Her name is Lori. She's amazing. I trusted her so much. I loved her as a human being. I thought that she was just the coolest person ever. And she also had an autoimmune disease, so she had to do injections to herself, and she totally understood the anxiety behind it. Her being a nurse, I think, really got rid of that anxiety, but she really gave me a lot of confidence in doing it myself, because I trusted her so much and having so many good experiences with her. I graduated the University of Denver, and I didn't have a primary care doctor because I'm lazy, and I would just use the health and counseling center, and all of a sudden I didn't have a nurse to do my injections for me. My boyfriend offered to help me and do the injections for me, and I could have taken that opportunity. I could have had my way out and just have someone else do my injections. But the thing is that I decided to be a big girl and just face my fears and do it. So I kind of created this little step-by-step routine that makes it so much easier for me. I no longer have anxiety. I no longer think about it. I will show you my injection. I did my Cimzia injection last night, and I filmed it, so you will be seeing a needle. You will see it entering my leg. I will go step by step into that. I'm just warning you, because if you're scared of needles, well, you're gonna have to get over it, but I'll let you know when we get there. But for right now, I'm going to tell you a few of my tips that just get rid of some of the anxiety you might experience before you even grab your syringe. I hope that makes sense. So first off, When it's your first time doing your own injection or you're still trying to get the hang of it, do it by yourself. Lock the doors, put all of the dogs and cats into a different room, and make sure you have good light. Just make sure you're by yourself and there aren't any distractions. You can put your phone on do not disturb and just have like 10 minutes just to yourself. You can light an aromatherapy candle, you can play some relaxing music, you can do it after you have a relaxing bath. You know, it's whatever you want to do to set the scene. I recommend just being by yourself and not having any disturbances for the first few times. As I mentioned when I was doing Humira, the sound of the pen terrified me. So what I do now is I put on Bluetooth headphones because I like to be wireless and hands-free, and I play relaxing wordless music. So there's this playlist on Spotify called Deep Focus. That's the one I typically play. Music that just immediately goes to the back of your head so you can focus on what you need to do, but it's still there and it blocks out all the other noises, so I no longer hear the sounds my syringes make. In the beginning, when I had so much anxiety, I would recite a mantra to myself, and I think that's personal, and whatever you want to come up with should empower you. A mantra is essentially something that you repeat over and over again that just makes you feel better, that's empowering, that's encouraging, that you can absorb into your gut and know it to be true. You can say that I have done this before and I can do this again. This medication is here to help me, and I'm a strong enough person to help myself. That was my mantra. Having something that you repeat over and over and over again eventually becomes true within you. I took a psychology course and I didn't really believe in the whole mantra thing, but there's no harm in doing it. And I realized that the more I repeated that statement to myself, the more it felt true. And I became more confident when doing my injection. And I like rationalized the fear out of my mind, if that makes any sense. The second thing is something that I think we all struggle with when we experience pain, is that we just hold our breath. And so for this, I highly recommend taking a really deep breath through your nose and out your mouth. For different medications, you know, like for Humira, the quick injectable that lasts for about 10 seconds, try to do like 3 or 4 big deep breaths while you're doing that. As you're injecting it, the muscle can kind of spasm. You start feeling the liquid into your thigh. Just take deep breaths, because the thing is that holding your breath isn't helping you. And by taking deep breaths, I kind of feel like if I'm breathing out really hard, I can push down on the syringe just as hard and just get it done with. Another thing is that if, you know, it's the week of your injection and you need to do it Thursday, if Thursday feels like it's like doomsday and it's the most terrifying day out of the week, try thinking of, what day did I say? I said Thursday? So if Thursday is your injection day, try thinking of Thursday as a different day. For example, you can say that Thursday is when the next episode of Walking Dead comes out, and I'm going to sit there and watch that episode while I do this. I'm pumped for it. Once a month, have that one day out of the month be like, I'm going to wipe my teeth, I'm going to do a face mask and a hair mask all at the same time while I'm doing my injection, and it's going to be the best self-care day ever. So when you're thinking of something that terrifies you, you can still have that moment where you're terrified, but consider all of the good things you can do that day that make you excited for that day to come, so you're not anxious throughout the whole week. The last few tips I have before showing my actual injection and giving very detailed steps as I do it is figure out where your injection site is going to be. For example, I've always done my injections on my thighs, but I know that you can do it also on your stomach. If you're gonna do it on your stomach, find the best position for you. You can either be laying down on your back or standing up. When I did Humira and I had that spring injection, I would be sitting down with my feet flat on the floor. And then when I do my Cymsia, I sit on the floor with my legs extended. So figure out what position is best for you. And then also, because I always inject it in my legs once a month and I always do it in like the same area, that skin can kind of thicken. I like to roll out my legs before I do my injection. I know that pain can be a very big deterrent to doing your own injections. Don't flex the leg you are injecting. So if I'm gonna do my right leg, if I want to flex and kind of tighten up, do that with your left leg. Keep your right leg as relaxed as possible. Also, you need to commit. I know that if you're doing it the first time, it's very scary and very overwhelming, except you really just need to get that needle in there. And once it's in, just press down on the syringe. Remember that your pain is probably heightened because of your anxiety, and that the medication you're injecting in yourself will ultimately help you. I will show you 2 different strategies of how to like hold yourself when inserting the needle. You can either pinch the skin or you can press the skin down. You'll see it better in the video. If you are giving an injection to somebody else, I find that pinching the skin is just a lot easier for everybody. It's ultimately a judgment call of which one you prefer to do, depending on how I'm feeling, or if my skin is particularly thick that day and the needle just doesn't want to get in. Sometimes I will pinch the skin and just push the needle in as hard as I can. To get a needle in, remember you have several layers of skin, and as you go lower, your skin gets just a little bit thicker. And if you're repeatedly using one spot as your injection site, your skin can get a little bit thicker. You're not going to do damage if you feel like you're getting resistance by putting the needle in. You just got to put it in. Your body's meant for it. I promise you can do this. So now I'm going to show you how I do my injections. Remember, I will be showing you the needle and it actually entering my body, and I will be giving step-by-step instructions of what I do. If you guys have any other tips to help your anxiety, please list them in the comment section down below. Remember, you are never alone, and let's just get into it. You want to take your medication out of the fridge and leave it out for 20 minutes or until room temperature. This is the box my Cymsia comes in. I place blue tape at the bottom corner to cover my personal information, but every box will look the same other than that. The first flap has 2 alcohol swabs tucked in the folder. And here's the medication, and the last flap has more information about the medication. You can see here, this is a syringe where you push the trigger down yourself, and it's about the size of my hand before you remove the cap. If you look closely, you can see an air bubble in the liquid, and you want to tilt the syringe until the air bubble reaches where the needle is, and then push the air out. If you do your injections on your legs, you want to make sure you get the meaty part of your legs. I'm going to do my right leg where I pinch my skin and muscle in the area I'm going to inject. I will squeeze my thigh force enough to raise the muscle, but not enough to hurt myself. And because I have fairly small hands, I like to grab the base where the needle connects to the syringe, so I have more force and accuracy. Press the syringe all the way down. Don't forget to place the cap back on the needle for safety purposes. Moving on to the left leg, I'm wiping my leg down aggressively with alcohol swab. Notice that this particular syringe has essentially handles for you to firmly grip the syringe. Whatever you are using, make sure you are holding it correctly. Here you can see that I'm taking my fingers and pulling down my skin to the sides. This way I'm trying to make the subcutaneous layer of skin thinner and directly going to the muscle. The subcutaneous layer is essentially the fatty layer right above the muscle, so this method might be something to consider depending on your weight and injection site. As you can see, I had some resistance when inserting the needle, which is totally normal. I just continued to push until the needle was completely in. You want to push the trigger all the way down as to not waste any of the medication, but notice that when I remove the needle, a little bit of the medication does come out of my thigh. That is completely normal. Don't get worried about it. Just try not to waste any of the medication by putting the trigger down. Don't forget to safely dispose of your syringes. You can get these delivered to you by the pharmacy and then Google the locations to drop them off. Please support my channel by liking this video and subscribing. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Remember that you are never alone, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!